What is up, everybody? It's David from YGO Pulse Gang, and I'm over here about to edit this video. I just wanted to say before we start, please join the Discord, because if you like this deck profile and pretty much the other ones we've had, we got a bunch of people that's very knowledgeable in this deck and the alternate ways to play it. And we think if you want to check out more about this profile in particular, definitely join our Discord, the link below, because we got a lot of people that play it and they can tell you even more than I did today. Also, the playmat you see in the video, you can get it. Just message us in Discord, on Facebook, or Instagram. Alright, guys. Peace. Hello, everyone. This is David from YGO Pulse, and today we got another deck profile. Time to get back at it. I know it's been a minute since we had some videos, but we was focusing on the Team APS tournament and other stuff, and just, you know, streaming a lot more. So we are coming back with more deck profiles. I've even got some speed duel stuff coming up. But here's a deck that a few people in our gang here like to play, Fluffals. I was put on board by this, and now that I know more about its inner workings, this deck is insane. Honestly, I think if more people hopped on this bandwagon, you would see it represented much more in top cuts, because, like, no joke, this deck is crazy. Logan likes to say it's pure gas, and I get what he means, because this can play through like incredible numbers of hand traps. So anyway, we'll get to the profile here. This deck can be played a couple of different ways because it is such an extensive combo deck. Everything just gets everything, and there's so many trees in which you can build boards. It can be a little bit overwhelming, and that's what took me a while to actually learn. But I'll show you the profile I've pretty much come up with, and the plays that I prefer to do. I've tried to balance mine as a basically 50-50 go first, go second deck, instead of just a pure gas go second, because this deck has easy access to some of the best floodgate monsters in this game. So anyway, we'll start with the profile. First up is 3 Fluffal Dog. So what this card does is, when it's summoned or special summoned once per turn, you can add a Sabers or a Fluffal monster. This is just your this is when your summonable Rhodas here. It's the fact that it comes off the special summon too, that's actually incredible, because a lot of times you'll be specialing this off Cross Sheep or something and getting your search, or even summoning it off of Repair. So yeah, 3 of these, you need to search out all your good cards. Next up, Fluffal Penguin. This monster, when it's summoned, you can special summon, and this isn't once per turn, by the way, it's only once per turn while it's on the field. If you keep summoning it, the first effect isn't once per turn. So you can just special summon another Fluffal from your hand. And that's pretty nice, because guess what? It's level 4, it's a water, so this gives you access to Toad, and I'll see what monster you make off of it. But when it's used for a fusion summon once per turn, you can draw 2 and discard 1. Like I said, this deck plays through an incredible amount of interruption, and you had just insane hand sizes sometimes. Next up, 2 Dolphin. I moved this up to 2 after Jacob talked to me. Like, this card literally is a 1 summon add 3. So what it does is, you could summon it and then set a toy vendor from your grave that you've already used, set it back, and then send any Fluffal monster or a Sabers, both of which are great graveyard effects. But this right here gives you is a 1 card access to your wings play. It's also level 4 water. So thank you, Konami, very much for that synergy. And you get this combo out a lot. Next up, 3 Fluffal Bear. This can be moved to 2 if you want to play some other one-ofs. I like the consistency of being able to get that toy vendor out every turn, especially Dolphin and Bear. I mean, that's just a great combo. But it's just discard it and then set a toy vendor. It's pretty nice. I really want to see toy vendor in this deck. That's what helps it push through plays. That's why I play 3, because toy vendor is just what gives you access. We'll do our one-ofs here. Fluffal Owl. It is a onboard fusion or searches a fusion, whichever you want to do. I like that. Sheep. This is a extender. Also gives back edge imp from your graveyard or specials from your hand. Fluffal Cat. A lot of times you find yourself being able to extend, but if you just had another fusion, this at least lets you recycle your fusion that you use. So one fusion, that goes a long way if you have Cat. And then my favorite card in the deck, Fluffal Wings. This card says you can banish it and then banish another Fluffal, draw a card. If you have a toy vendor active, send that vendor to the grave to draw 2, and then vendor activates and lets you add a card. So this is just a 1 card plus 3 here. This card's insane. That's it for the Fluffal monsters. Next up, 3 edge imp chain. To me, the best edge imp that isn't Sabers, because Sabers is more of, you just need its name, but this is probably the best one for what it does. Is if it goes to the grave, no matter how it goes to the grave, you can add a Frightful card from your hand. Normally you're going to add either Patchwork or the Fusion, but this right here is great. 3 of, because you want to see your Patchwork. 1 Sabers. You play this, it does have a recursion, the fact that it lets you send a card. You normally want to stack a Fluffal monster on top and then activate your toy vendor. But either way, it is a reborn, for its relevance. Sometimes it triggers off Cross Sheep, but really you just need that name. A lot of the cards have Sabers specifically in it, so that's why you play it. It gives you access to Wolf too, which is your best edge imp. And last up, a broken card, Edge Imp Scythe. So this card is during your opponent's turn, hand fusion, and a Phalanx that you can use during your turn. So during your opponent's turn, in the main phase, quick effect, reveal this card, fusion summon a Frightful monster using the correct targets. If a Frightful monster would be destroyed by battle or card fight, you can banish this. So you summon a whale, target whale, pop a card in their field, and then Scythe to keep your whale. So this is just a great way to actually have a going second play that is just like a pop. That's very nice. A lot of times if you have cards like your Penguin in hand, you can fuse in your opponent's turn, pop a card, then you draw 2 and discard 1. Great hand fixer. Okay. We'll go on to the spells. Oh, sorry. Lastly, for the monsters, we got a Scythe. I'll show you why we play this later. And then just 2 Blossoms. You can if you want to play 3 Blossom, you could bump Bear down to 2. If you don't even play this Scythe engine, then you can make that. It's all up to choice. This deck has several ways. Like I said, I balanced this version to be first or second, and that's really, really what I was aiming for. Was to have some lockout boards that are comparable to even the best of the top tier meta right now. Because a lot of times the reason I did that is people will make you go first thinking, oh, they're Fluffals, all they can do is OTK, they can do nothing else. Well, they're very, very sadly mistaken if they think that's the case. Next up, best card in the deck, Toy Vendor. So discard a card. If you draw a Fluffal special summon, that's not even what you really care about. It's if it hits the grave, you can add a Edge Imp or Fluffal monster, or Edge Imp Sabers or Fluffal monster. A lot of times you'll grab one of your combo pieces. This is great to just send in the grave before you do any summons. It gives you that plus. I'll keep it laid out here. 3 of our Polyboy. So just generic polymerization. It's okay to play this. You don't need to play the fancy versions of this card in the deck, because this name specifically is makes Patchwork good. And there's a lot of ways to search this out, so don't worry about it. Frightful Fusion, polymerization, but from the graveyard. This card is crazy good. It's like the last thing you do to OTK, or it's the last play you make if you want to set up a big board. Patchwork. This card makes the deck good. Like, the consistency with this is crazy. It adds a fusion and an edge imp. That pretty much fixes the problem Fluffals had before, where they couldn't really go first, and they sometimes wouldn't have the right stuff. This gives you the stuff. It literally just says out of Polly and the edge imp. Great card. 1 fright for repair. You send this off of Cruel Well, or any other way you got it. It specials Fluffal from your hand or an edge imp from your hand. That's basically the relevant effect. And 3 Foolish Burial. Use this if you're going for a second. Try to bait an Ash or something, but put Toy Vendor in the grave. Gives you your combos early. Pretty self-explanatory. This can be whatever you want. I'm playing droplets. Once I get a third, I will be putting a third in. In this deck, you're going second. Unlike Dark Ruler, you don't want to give up having to not do damage, because that's kind of the point of going second. But this card is a board breaker. It's a way to deal with Dragoons. It gives you a discard outlet if you have a Chains or a Toy Vendor. So I like the discard outlet for this for the most part. And 2 Imperms. Like I said, these are kind of flex spots, whatever you personally want to put in. I'm not playing it just because, oh boy, expensive card is expensive. I genuinely think this is really good in this deck, outside of just being generically good. These, you know, just more going second cards. These can be flex spots too. This is an extra that can be, you'll probably see several versions on YouTube that have a little bit kind of similar, but some of the choices of the boss monsters may be the same. It's all up to preference. Like I said, I balanced mine to go first or second, so I didn't want to just have blowout second extra deck cards. 3 Cruel Well. Level 9 on summon, it can pop a card you control and pop a card your opponent controls. Also in the same chain link, you can send a fright for card from your extra deck or from your deck and give yourself a nice little, give any of your fusions a nice little boost. So 3 of these. You play 3 because of True King. Kraken, I just play 1 because of the way I built the deck. A lot of people play 2 or more. I don't play Hope Harbinger, so I don't actually need the second 8, but this card is good. Really good card. Sabretooth. Fusion, using another fusion lets you reborn one from the grave. So if you did play more Krakens or whatever you want, just a good card, lets you reborn. Wolf, the infinite attacker. You use Saber and as many Fluffal cards as you want to, and for every fusion material you have, you can attack. So great card. Only 2,000, but if you bump it up with Cruel Will, get this thing up to like 3 or 4K, attack 6 times. I mean, that's game. In the APS tournament, we was using Wolf to straight up OTK from 16,000, no problem. Not even like we had damage to spare. Tiger. This is just a really nice going second card. Sometimes go first if you have no other way to blow up cards that you might want engraved. But also another monster that uses many materials as you want, the Fluffals, and for every one you use, you can pop a card your opponent controls. Just a nice little board wiper. And that's it for the fusions. Exceeds, Calamities. So you play 3 level 9s, very easy to get this card out. I think it's actually easier to get this out in Fluffals than it is in like Dinosaurs or something. There's not many decks I think that make this easier. So yeah, Calamity's a very great card. That's why you play 3 Cruel Well, because you want to have 1 for fodder, or so you want to have 1 if you go in second, 1 to burn, and then an extra to actually go into it. Dweller, this is a flex spot. I just like having something that says your opponent can't play, you know, X, Y, or Z, and this says no graveyards, so I'll take that. Easy combo here. Bahamut Shark. You can make Toad your 5th summon in this deck if you really want to go that route, and that not be your whole turn. Like, you can make Toad 5th summon and then do your plays. So that's very great for this deck. Lynx, Cross Sheep. It's a fusion deck. Got Exceeds too, but this lets you, if something's special while it points to a fusion, then special one from grave. So A lot of times you'll use this on your non-once per turns. You can have a fusion already on the field, make this link 2, because a lot of times the way this deck plays is you're not actually fusing into the zone. You're normally already going to have a Cruel Will. Just summon this into a link that points to, and then if you use just a generic summon of sheep or sabers, then this still points to one, so it procs that effect. But yeah, get one of your non-once per turn effects, or one you haven't used for the turn. Pet Plant, Verte Anaconda. If you're going second, or you pretty much want to make this go in second, because you're going to want to send Frightful Fusion and then use Wolf, using all of your graveyard materials. That's where you get the crazy amounts of taxes, using Fusion from the grave. Dagda, great combo. I'll explain in just a second. And Appaloosa for the 2. This is another flex spot. This can be access code or any other just big boss monsters you want. I chose Appaloosa because it is just a good going first card. Like I said, if you just look at this extra deck, if your opponent thinks that Fluffals cannot play going first, they're crazy, because you can make this turn 1 and this turn 1 easy. This is also a good turn. So I'll show this in the combo part. Anyway guys, that's it for the main and extra, and I'll do the side, because why not? Just for the sake of seeing everything I run for this format. Okay, on to the extra. Like I said, extra is always going to be up to your locals or whatever you think's going on, but this is, for the most part, I try to keep my side deck based on what the meta is, and for the most part, this is basically my side deck for most of my decks, give or take a few little things that the decks might do inherently. So just a Nibiru, and this is the token obviously, but this deck still want to go off, so Nibiru, just a good call. Token Collector, this interrupts all of those generic Link Cross and Halki Fibrax plays. So this just lets you scoop up those tokens. They can't summon another token. It's pretty nice. It's a good hand trap. Dino Wrestler, I like this. It breaks boards on its own because it is 26 for free. Doesn't have any restrictions on you, doesn't punish you for summoning it. And it's a quick effect trident effect, so pretty nice. 3 Dark Ruler, you play this against decks that just lock you out so bad that you can't play. Because you can still set up. What you do is, if you play this, you're obviously making the choice of, I'm going to make my board after breaking theirs and set up an unbreakable one on my own. 2 Lightning Storm, Altergeist, and other back rowy decks. Just a good way to out those boards. Red Reboot, this is in here for Altergeist and Eldritch decks. It's a one of, and so is this, but these are just good. I mean, if you see them, they're really good. And just 3 evenly matched. It sucks giving up your battle phase, but there are some boards that you just can't do anything about, or if you brick. So I like just having a bunch of blowout stuff in the deck, because if I just draw one of these, a lot of times it can even that game up. So anyway guys, this is it for the profile, and I'm going to come back to you with some combos. Peace. Okay guys, we're back. We're going to do some combo parts, and then we'll do some test hands after this. First, this is a going first play. This is why I built my deck this way, because a lot of times, depending on what your opponent is playing, you might choose to purposely go first, because this deck does lock them out. So this is your starting hand, just these 2 cards. There's a million ways to get these cards in your hand, but you will see this more than you think. So summon Fluffal Dog, we're gonna add our sheep, okay? It's in here somewhere. Okay, we get sheep. Since we have a Fluff on the field, we can special sheep. Sheep effect, return dog. The special, Imp Chain. Okay, link them off. Into Dagda. So Chain here is gonna activate, and it will give you a Frightful card. You're gonna go for Patchwork. If you already have Patchwork, get just anything. You can get Repair, just something that you can use on the field, or activate any other card on the field. It doesn't, but this is just if these 2. You're gonna activate Patchwork, and that's gonna activate Dagda. Dagda will have to be chain link 2. So you're gonna search for your artifact card. I play Scythe. We're gonna get the artifact Scythe. And then we're gonna resolve Patchwork, get a fusion, and the other Scythe, our Edge Imp Scythe. So you set a Scythe and you add a Scythe. So if you have other plays, this is where you go plus Ultra, you know, power. But for here, we would just end our turn. Let's say we had no other plays. This is our hand, and we just say, okay, your turn. During their turn, you can activate Scythe, fuse from the hand, special whale, target whale, and your Scythe. And from here, you notice what's gonna happen. Scythe will come out, Cruel Whale, at any point during the turn, can send a repair. So that's giving you a summon for your next turn, and you've locked them out. And that's just, I mean, just the basic, absolutely, just nothing else combo. So that's a lockout. Okay, next combo is how to get yourself a bunch of free cards in your hand. This is just something that will be mid combo, but this is one way you can do it. So goods, send Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor will proc. You'll get Fluffal Dolphin. Normal summon Penguin. That lets you special summon Dolphin. Dolphin effect lets you set Vendor. And then lets you send any Fluffal to the grave. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send Wings. Okay, send Wings. And we will use these two to exceed summon into your favorite. Level 4 water. Bahamut Shark. Effect. Send to grave. Special summon yourself a toad. And as you saw, this was only 4 summons. So from here, you can pretty much, you ain't gotta worry about the Nibiru. That's all I gotta say. Next, flip this back up. Use Wings, banish itself. That will make itself, it will banish a Dolphin to draw a card. Wings, if you have a Toy Vendor, send it, draw another card. And then Toy Vendor hit grave. So you can draw, or you can add another Edge Imp card. Let's say you got, Chain. You could just get Chain to the grave, and then that will activate another Patchwork. So that's how you draw. That's how you +3 and get a 4th summon Toad. So not bad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last combo before we go into test hand, see what this deck can do. This is just a good going first play, or going second. You can. Going second, I'm going to assume you guys pretty much know that you can OTK. This deck can get out, so the going second isn't that important. Fluffal Dog and Patchwork. Fluffal Dog, summon, we'll get our Penguin. Our Patchwork we'll use to get Chain and Polymerization. So you're going to Polymerization, Penguin and Chain into Cruel Whale. Okay, what we're gonna do here is draw effect will be Chain Link 1. We will do Edge Imp Chain to add. Both of these are ashable, so put this at 1, this at 2, and Cruel Whale at 3 because it just sends. So Cruel Whale will resolve, sending repair. Edge Imp Chain will resolve, and we'll get a Fright for fusion. And then Fluffal Penguin, you draw 2, discard 1. So now you've went +1, and you've added a fusion. So you technically went +2 here off this combo. You can then activate the Fright for Fusion, banishing the Edge Imp and the Penguin. Banish those to summon another Cruel Well. And then from here, you just do a little overlaying into True King. So just off of Fluffal Dog and a Patchwork, you was able to get a lockout. So that's gonna be the last of like the going first, easy little plays. Next up, we're gonna do just a test hand to show you how easy this deck can OTK going second, because you've already seen the plays going first. All right, see you there. Okay, last combo. So what we're gonna do is here, we're gonna do a test hand, and we're just gonna like pretend we're going second, because I've already showed y'all like some going first stuff. So what we'll do is pretend we're going second. We'll do a test hand here. These hands are pretty much always gonna be around the same because you play a bunch of 3-0s. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got an Empire, a Toy Vendor, a Barrel Goods, a Penguin, and a Fluffal Wings, and we're gonna go second, and another bear. Okay, so we can do some damage with this. All right, so we're going second. We're trying to bait negates and ashes. You don't really care if goods goes off here. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. So we'll just find wherever our other toy vendor's at. All right, send it to the grave. Here, let's go ahead and get, I'll probably go with Chain because we don't have Patchwork yet. And I'll try to keep the graveyard like up here or something, because we're gonna have a humongous graveyard. There we go, we got that. Let's see. We have 2 accesses to toy vendors, so we'll go ahead and use one. We'll pay cost on Chain. If you hit something here, cool. If you don't, whatever. You're really just trying to get this Chain to go off. We hit another toy vendor. That's fine with us. I'll have to borrow a bear. So let's do toy vendor. Let's do Chain link 1, vendor chain link 2. So we can add a. Let's add Dolphin. Yeah, we'll get Dolphin. And then Edge Imp. We'll get Patchwork. Okay, this is our hand. We're at 6. Let's activate Patchwork. Oop. This is still our graveyard here. It's gonna be a humongous one. To get Sabers and Polymerization. So we don't have those yet. All right, here it's okay to just think for a second and what your line of play would be. There's no more vendors in deck, so Bear is a perfect card to just, you know, you don't need it. Let's go with, go ahead and Fusion. Let's put, we'll fuse with Penguin and Sabers. And then get Cruel Well. Let's do Chainlink 1 Penguin because it's a draw, and then Chainlink 2. You don't necessarily care if this goes off because you can make more. So it's a generic target which you want them to ash or a Veiler or do something. Waste one of their outs. Because a lot of people aren't gonna know what this deck does. They're gonna try to just assume you have a choke point. If they try to wait for Nibiru, oftentimes that's just too late. Because so far we haven't summoned anything. This is our first summon. We're already halfway there to a VFD. So we're gonna send Repair to the grave. We'll shuffle up because we're gonna draw on Penguin and discard one. All right, we're not aiming for anything in particular. We just, on Penguin, we just get 2 goods. We already used that, and a dog. So we're gonna discard Wings. Go ahead and use Repair. Banish it to, it lets you special a Fluffal from your hand. So we will special dog effect. get. So right now what we're in need of is a fusion of actual polymerization. So let's get a sheep. Now we're gonna want to make wings go off. So we don't want to banish that penguin just yet because we want to try to reborn it. So Fluffal sheep, return dog to get sabers. Link these off into cross sheep. Now remember, cross sheep's effect, as long as it's pointing to the link, it doesn't matter if the fusion has already been summoned prior. So here we can just go ahead and stack whatever we want. Let's put goods back to special sabers. Now, since we have a fusion, this lets us proc penguin. Penguin effect lets us go off again into dolphin. The graveyard's in the way. I'll show you as we go. Dolphin effect. We can set another toy vendor and then send a Fluffal. We're probably just gonna send a useless one for now. Let's go ahead and put another wings in the grave for, you know, if we have a next turn or whatever. Doesn't really matter at that point. We'll use one of our wings effect, banish itself, and that lets us banish another Fluffal to draw a card, a penguin. We can send the vendor to the grave to draw another card, and then vendor activates, giving us let's go with cat. We just about searched everything in our deck here. You can do a couple of plays. You've got the toad play if you absolutely want to, but right now we need a fusion pretty badly. So if we want to force a fusion, let's see. We could go into Anaconda here, but that would pretty much end your turn. If you're going for the OTK, you have it because you've got sabers on field. So let's link 4. To an Appaloosa for 24. That puts sabers in grave. You can link 2, and this can be a different play too. If you want to keep all that stuff, that's fine. I'm just trying to get like a bunch of names in the grave. That's why I'm doing like these other links off. Effect. Send. Front for fusion to the grave. Anaconda becomes that. We're gonna summon our wolf. And we're gonna use, let's see here, sabers, 1, 2, 3. So we got 4 attacks at 2K. That is 4,000. So, I mean, that's game there. You've got cards for next turn if you need it. So yeah, that's just the way you can OTK through wolf. Then during this line of play, if they had stopped you at any point, you could have toaded, made totally awesome. You could have went to VFD if you really wanted to go that route. Like I said, it's hard to know when you're playing a ghost here, but this deck does so much. We still have 6 cards in our hand, all of which are recursive cards. We still have blowout cards for next turn. We got a toy vendor here, so we got wings live. We went through half our deck here. So yeah, this deck it's pure gas. So however you want to play it, we're going to be streaming a lot this week and moving forward. So I hope y'all check out this deck in action as we go. If you want more tips, join our Discord. Jacob also plays this deck. He knows everything about it too. So anyway, guys, I want to say peace and thanks for watching.
Yeah.